Oh my god.
We'll just keep it at that.
Live from LA.
We made it.
The crew
Let
made
me
it.
see if I can
We're
get
in.
settled in here and not worry about it too much. Well, this has been a fun adventure, huh, guys?
It's been a great day.
First podcast, Glendale, California.
It's good to be out there in the world with some good folks.
I don't hear you.
You're low. Your headphones are pretty low. Let me turn you up. No, let me talk.
Testing.
Oh, yeah, I can. Well, yeah, way too loud now. Sorry, somehow mine must have got bumped.
How's that?
A little lower? Yeah, maybe like right there.
Okay.
And then you talk once?
Testing.
Yeah, I can hear
This is
you now.
about where I'm
You
coming in
talk.
at.
Hello.
Hey, yeah. Hey, guys, first podcast. We're trying to make it work, figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty fun.
There's not much to it. We're getting through it. We got a road kit. We got some friends together. New friends as well. Old friends and new friends.
A lot of old friends for me, a lot of new friends for you guys. It's been fun. How do you feel about it?
Feel great.
It's amazing. We're gonna have a lot of awkward silences. We're all
Say-
getting to know each other.
Say names. Let's say names real quick for this one, so we know who was talking. And
My name is...
yeah,
Satan.
Just kidding, Max.
great.
Mr. Chris
What's up?
Whitaker Jr.
A.K.A. Angles by Am. A.K.A. Flow Safe Farm. A.K.A. Brooklyn, D.C. A.K.A. Just kidding.
Coming to you live, Christopher Robert Whitaker Jr., a.k.a. Witta, a.k.a. Witta Photo. I don't have as many AKAs as Max, but I'm trying to hold in there, so bear with me. Just call me Chris or Witta.
All right. My name is Guillermo, or AKA Memo. I see MEMO. I hope you got the memo.
Nice. And Samuel. You can call me Samuel. That's it.
I thought you guys were going to go all around with the AKAs there for a second.
Good, yeah. If somebody needed to stop the AKAs, we were maxing out on that.
I was just gonna end it real strong with just Samuel. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all I
I thought
he was
got.
gonna say
Thanks.
AKA
Shout
Sam.
out. Shout out, Mom. Thanks.
Yo, we're in
I
a...
like this, though. Max is bringing us all together. We're, firing up a new podcast here.
Yeah, just trying to keep the creativity going, you know? I still feel like this thing just sounds weird to me, but...
That's just your voice, man.
You're just not used to listening to your voice.
I don't know if it is my voice or not.
Hey, try this. Try one headphone off, one headphone on. I like that a lot.
I mean, guys, also, let's just remember this isn't like going live on YouTube
No,
tomorrow.
guys, this is the
test run.
podcast. This is it. Guys, please subscribe to my Patreon. So what are we
yeah.
doing out in California? It's been kind of fun to drag a bunch of people out of here. I'm putting together a project. I guess I got 50 people and 12 days, right? 13 days?
the
12
focus
days,
is
really.
creativity all around.
Yeah.
But I'd say that your biggest projects are probably going to be the, well, you tell you. What do you think?
It's going to be fun. I don't know. I think it's just, for me, it's been kind of I went on such a weird journey. So this is actually, the house that we're in right now is the last house that I lived in before I left LA. And then I wasn't even 100% sure at that time what I was going to do. And then it's been now like 4 years and I'm back at the same house. And
Still
it's
smells
kind of
weird.
fun to be here tonight, like putting all the podcast gear together and being like, all right, like, let's do this again.
Well, I was just saying that before we went on. I almost see a spark in your eye that's stronger than when we first got out of photo school. And I think just changing of times and maybe you move out of the city and you're just trying to get your head at where you want to be at in life can just kind of restructure you of like what matters most and where you need to put your creative energy and where you want to be. And sometimes those resets can just kind of get you back on track.
Yeah, totally. I mean, for a couple of years, I didn't even want to do anything. Like,
I mean, you've always been really creative, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, even like bringing that spark, like just a new flame to it or something.
Yeah, well, we've been at it so long. I think that just happens when you do something for like 10 years, 12 years. You kind of hit that max period where you're like, wait, there's other things you could do. And like, is this the one thing I want to do? And I feel like I got so lucky with photography. Like, my story is pretty wild. Like, just in the way that it played out for how early and how young I was, like moving to New York City, getting with Mariano, moving to London, London to LA to Seattle, like just doing that whole journey, and then being like, fuck, I think I'm done with photography. And then I took like, I did my book, I put my book out, and then I just didn't want to do anything for like a year. It was kind
Makes
of
sense
wild.
though, because you gave everything to that. And also to touch on that, you lived the global, the upper echelon of photo assisting life, dude, which I think, you go to photo school, move to the city, work for some photographers, find your niche, get in with, global leading fashion photographer and be his first assistant for 3 years and travel the world. Boom. I mean,
It wasn't
that's
a
how
bad
you really
gig.
learn.
Let me tell
photo.
you, that's where the ego came from.
That is, you did say that when you were in it, until you were out of it, you didn't realize exactly what it was. You mentioned, I paraphrased, but you kind of said like, I didn't realize how special that was in a way. Is that right?
Yeah, well, the thing about photography that's so crazy about me is they like found me. I was like failing out of high school, and then I had a really dedicated teacher in high school, like a really weird program too. Like I learned color slide film in high school. I learned like C4. I learned all these like weird processes that are now completely like next to out of there. But it was really cool to get that, and then from there go to Hallmark, which is where I met Chris. Chris and me went to photo school together, and then once I got to New York and like kind of got into the studio scene, like it was fun to bring you guys to Milk today. We got to go see Sean at Milk and like show you guys like a real photo studio.
That was rad.
I was like, you
That was
won't
super
go
fun.
to a better photo studio than Milk LA. Like there isn't one.
I want to hear this, but just to touch on what you just said is so important too, and it really comes back to living in the present moment at all times, because like you said, I've heard you say stuff like that. We all have experiences where like, oh, that was the golden years or this, or, you're reminiscing on different times. Well, I didn't even realize what I had at that moment. There was something so like innocently special about those
Sorry, guys, I'm
years
too
of
far
growth
away.
and
I don't wanna-
learning and all this. Like, and so just as we get older, it's important to realize that like, don't dread the past, don't overthink the future. All we have is the present moment.
Facts.
And we really need to just, whatever we're going through, good or bad, just remember that
yeah.
we have the
Well,
present
it's fun having you here because we go back so far, and and the fun thing about that is like we remember when we were both just like dumb as fuck, but like learning
I
like
still
that
got a little dumb in me. but-
that learning process, like
We all do.
it's crazy. Just getting older and wiser too. Like I don't know. I feel like I have a new spark because I look at photography very different now, and I kind of feel like I checked a lot of boxes that I wanted to do in that world. And then now it's like, I don't know, I'm almost 40. It's like, do I want to work full time for another photographer where you give your life? Like there is no like that type of job. You can't get that type of job without giving your life. So it's like with Mariano, it was the most amazing opportunity ever. But then at the end, like I wanted more. I wanted to grow and get out. Like, even though I did that for like 6 years with him, I was like, time to go, and then to come here and start shooting, which was like really amazing. But then, man, just the way of photography, it's a wild
It's an
world.
ever evolving beast, and I think just
Podcasting is weird. I kind of sometimes it is weird when you hear your voice.
again, this is just a test run, so let's just have fun with it.
No, we're putting
But
this
like
out.
a friend of mine the other day,
Season 1, episode 1.
Yeah,
Hear-
this is
hear
this
me
is
out on this.
fail
Tuesday.
fast and fail forward.
a friend of mine the other day, a photographer, great photographer, and really skilled photo assistant, is preaching on his Instagram about how Instagram isn't where you review photography as a portfolio, blah blah blah, this that, kind of almost just fighting the evolutional change of technology. And it's like, hey, actually most people do look at photography on Instagram. If just because you don't like that and you'd prefer most people to look at your photography on a big 27-inch iMac, that's not convenient for everybody. And also we have to remember that our photography is always, it's not going to mean the same thing it does to us to other people. As much
Yeah.
as that almost like stings a little bit.
Well, I think photography is cheaper now than ever. That's the problem. For me, it's more about like staying a creative. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just I don't want to I'm not going to sell my soul down one path. Like I don't want to shoot e-commerce for $60K a year 60 looks a day, 5 days a week again either, you know?
That's,
like
that would be commerce, not art. And that
Yeah,
I think Rick Rubin.
well,
speaks
that's the
about
problem
that
with photography,
in
man.
his book.
It's very hard to make money off of art and photography. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like
But it's essential to keep art and not be persuaded
otherwise
so
you're
much
kind
by
of chasing money
commerce.
to do things for other people.
Well, I think that's where I started to go wrong, because on this subject of transferring from, say, assisting, working for some of the best photographers in the world, you've shot your own book, you have some skills, and you're trying to find your vision and being a photographer. That transition can be very difficult. You're working on some of the biggest productions in the world, and then you're just a guy with a camera and not much budget, and you're going, now I need to produce my own book that's on the same caliber as some of these heavy hitters. So it can be overwhelming, making that transition from a high level assistant to, it almost needs to be a clean break, I feel like, because if you're dabbling and assisting while trying to shoot your own stuff, it can be.
Yeah, well, it's a hard balance because you have to have a good mentor. I will say one of the biggest mistakes I ever made when I left Mariano and I came to LA is I didn't jump right back into assisting, because I had opportunities to assist really big people, but my ego was like, I'm done with that chapter. And I think in the end, I should have gone that route. I should have kept it going. Like, you're not this big hotshot, and
I know. No, it happens.
because being those production lives, that's like if you get in with the right crew, that's a special time usually. Like you're traveling the world, everything's 5-star, everything's paid for, everything's
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. It's not when I say like, oh, it's got to be a clean break. I think that can work for some people, and maybe that's how I was envisioning it in my mind. Yeah, you work for 5 years as an assistant, and then you just, boom, you're able to just move on. And I think that there's something to be said about that, though, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna really be the one pushing the button and be the photographer. It's like, I think if you can coast on those cushy week-long, big production shoots and be making money, and then maybe you're tired on your off days, so you're not putting as much into your own work.
honestly, every rich photographer has some other business they're getting paid from.
I think that's the goal, is don't make your passion have to be what monetizes your passion. You should have that money or flow from somewhere else, and then that you have the freedom then to explore art solely for the purpose of exploring that
you
art.
try to tell that to 21-year-old me in New York City, where it's like nothing else mattered.
Right. No, and you're not
And
going to
it's
listen.
just-
When
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
does tell you that, you're going to do it
It takes a
anyways.
long time. You have to mature and really grow out of it.
Now that we're I'd say most of us we're past that. I don't know. I mean, I'm 35.
Emma, how old are you?
I'm still 29.
Yeah, he's the
That's great. That's
intern. Let's go.
36.
Great. Yeah. So we're on
You
a
see
similar
this gray
level
beard?
then.
I'm 38.
You don't have any gray hair somehow.
I know, just for men, dude. Let's go.
Shout
Let's
out.
fucking go.
Endorsements. So So
I want
speaking
this to be a comedy podcast too. I like jokes, guys. This doesn't have to be too formal, but I love what you're saying, and I miss just having photos. I miss having just conversations about photography. Like going to Milk today, it was crazy how much it felt like a little weird, like almost like a parallel universe from what I remembered, because it had been so long. But then to walk back in there and just because every room we went in, I've shot in before.
When was the last time you were there working?
I went there with David Lippman, and I know I was in Seattle. I think I was in Seattle at that point.
3 years ago?
Yeah, probably. Because I flew down to LA for a gig, and then he liked me, and then he flew me to San Francisco, and we did this really amazing job. Then he offered me this $100K job, and then literally never called me back. It was the most bizarre experience ever.
He's gonna listen to this.
I'm
and
gonna
be
bleep
like,
his name out.
He was a unique photographer. I've worked for a lot of different photographers, and
He was kind of a rich guy that had kind of, in my opinion, because I'm going to bleep his name out, he was more of a creative director, art director type that kind of piggybacked off a lot of famous artists.
Okay.
He
But
hired,
that was his niche.
his thing was he was the one hiring them,
Okay.
through his ad agency, marketing. He had a big marketing agency back in
So
the
he
day.
was finding the
When
talent.
I met him, it was all falling apart on him. Because he
Oh,
hadn't
okay.
kept up with where things were going. Because marketing changed so
Yes.
quick, so fast.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it was really weird. We had this great job. We went to San Francisco for like 4 or 5 days.
But that was your last milk experience of shooting there and then doing
It
the
was
job
with him.
afterwards,
Then
was with
the
him.
next job. That was the last assisting job I did, or any like high production job was that. Like,
And now
totally
3 years
weird.
later, you've got your girlfriend, you've got new
Because the
friends
last
or
time I
new
worked with
old
him, I
friends.
kept being like, I'm doing this book. I'm gonna go do this book, shoot it. Da, 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 da. I remember trying to pitch him on Patreon and being like, look, man, you have this amazing archive. Like, you should just monetize this thing, get it ripping. And then I just don't know if he didn't want to hear that. I don't know what he wanted to hear, or maybe this producer friend of mine was like pushing it for me, and so I don't know if he overquoted me.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Like,
No, it's
it's
good.
tough doing the assisting thing because even like this big high production thing I was just on with like some of the biggest people out there, these photographers, they may respect you as an assistant, but it's like, unless you're able to really build a relationship with someone, photographers working, you're their assistant, they don't really want to fucking hear about what you think they should be doing.
Also, photographers are kind of the worst.
they don't want to
sometimes,
see
man.
your website. They don't want to.
It's famine mentality.
They're there for them to
The
get
problem
get
with the
job
industry
done, and-
is famine mentality.
I mean, on the last job, I'm not even kidding. Like on the last job, I spoke all of about 2 sentences to the photographer. I was with him for 5 days. You know, it's show up all black, don't talk to the photographer. You know, you start these photographers. I mean, ego is a
Like,
huge
these sets
part
are-
of these shoots. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like those guys. They're like the leading fashion people. You know, globally.
Can we say
I mean,
it?
they're massive.
No one's gonna see this.
Merton Marcus.
Yeah,
I
dude,
mean,
Merton Marcus is insane.
you know, show up wearing all black.
At
don't
the top
speak
for the
unless
last
you're being
10
spoken
years,
to.
these are like the biggest dudes on the planet.
Sweet.
There's a lot of egos
That's
in
fun.
photo.
Very
Even
fun.
even like on that shoot, you know, we don't have to like get into the nitty gritty of it, but
No,
even
you
like
probably shouldn't, or you're gonna get sued.
All right, so are you is it how you felt when you were there? Did you feel that they were like, because of who they were not very approachable or warm or open? It's just
No,
their
truthfully-
personality, or more so your feeling around the industry and just here to get the job done and then we're done together?
I brought that up just to almost make a point of, because Max had said like, oh, you know, I was really talking about this book. I'm kind of mentioning the Patreon, and it just got me thinking like, you know, these bigger guys, they're driven on, they don't want to hear it from the assistant. I mean, it almost doesn't matter who it is, but
It's kind of like at that point, it's like they already know that you'll never touch it because you'll never get the jobs.
But I know Max, and I know, you know, obviously he's not out of line to bring stuff like that up, but that I love that about Max, because it's like he's still got, like I talked about, that spark in his eye where, yeah, he's the assistant on the job, and he's trying to, you know, pitch the photographer, hey, look at what this new age shit is. You need to get on this. Like, you're going to get
I
left
was
in the
a
dust.
really good assistant. If there's one thing that I mastered, it was like, well, at least for Mariano, right? Because it's like I've also worked for a ton of other people, and it's like everybody is their own little flavor. You know, everybody has their own little things they like to do.
Totally.
I've partnered with a lot of different projects, not in photography specifically, and people do work with who they enjoy being around, who they like and trust. Like, that's just like a business general.
Yeah, and that's
So-
why Memo's here, because I love Memo.
Having
and we
fun
worked
with good
together at a
people,
moving
that's it.
company, and I was like, "You're coming to LA. Well,
Yes.
next time I come out here, I got some ideas." I'm a Cancer, so I move sideways to my goals.
It took a while.
Is that what
but
they say?
It took a while,
that
but
the going
finally.
That's the first for hearing that. Yeah, but that might be true.
Yeah, it's, you know.
And
it might
now
take a
Memo
little
is
while.
crushing the tech game, just sorting everything out here.
Who knows? Give it 2 years. Memo could be like the leading producer, running the boards here in LA, running.
That's
10 major
literally what I
podcasts.
told him. I'm
I
like,
mean-
just come, and next time I'll have a budget, and we'll make it work.
I mean, can we admit that's one of the most amazing things about life? You could meet one person in the spider web of networking. Think about, you know, someone
It's
you've met in your
insane.
life.
Little
that-
angels, they're everywhere. You just have to look for them, and you never. That's why you never try to not treat people with too much disrespect, because you never know like who it's gonna be. It
truth.
could be someone that you just don't even think it will be.
I like
love
how Max
that.
said not too much disrespect.
I know.
He knows there's going to be some disrespect.
I was
Just
literally
not too
I
much.
literally saw the lady at the car rental place in my mind when I said that.
It's because you look like a menace. You're menacing.
Oh my God, she did say that.
It
We
was-
walked up and she saw your ID and said, "You're a menace," and I was like,
Everything was good
Whoa.
until she was like, "This isn't my problem." Like, what do you mean this isn't your problem?
Yeah, that was interesting.
And it turned out it wasn't her problem. It was my problem. It took 2.5 hours to solve.
Problem.
What do you do? Expedia. Thank you. I miss, what was the roaming gnome? Who was that? That was Travelocity. I'm going with them next time.
Just not the same one that was, not at Expedia. Right?
But I'm excited for this trip. It's just fun to bring people together, have some conversations. I don't know. I don't have too much ambition or high ambition with this shit other than like consistency. And I like want to have conversations. So it's like, I feel like my biggest asset is usually, I think, is probably my network. And I'm like, how can I utilize my network a little bit better? And I love bringing people together. Like, if you know me, I've always been kind of a connector of the dots. So I saw an opportunity. I mean, the stars aligned. I found a sponsor for this. Shout out HazedUSA.com. GetHazed.com, actually. That's what it is.
Get Hazed.
Yeah, go to GetHazed.com. Try one of their gummies. They're fucking amazing. 100 milligrams. Let's go. THCA. Legal in all 50 states.
Shout out. Nice. Worked it
I
in.
lost my train of thought there. I have ADD and dyslexia. I'm a product of skate parks and special ed.
His brain went, okay, I've got to plug. This is why Kill Tony is so good. You know, you look at someone like Tony Hinchcliffe, and he's able to just swoop those little product placements in like no other.
I watched those too.
You're repping the sweatshirt now too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like Kill Tony. I've been watching him forever. So funny. I like comedy. Comedy heals. I like to laugh.
It's new to me. The Kill Tony thing. I just
Oh, you had never seen it?
3 months ago, a group I was in Denver, and some guys threw it on the TV, and I'd seen clips, but I didn't know what it was until I watched it with all of them.
I told Memo about it, but he didn't pay attention to me.
It's a good format
What?
for a new
Really?
show. I
It's
think.
So
First time
many.
I hear about
I was
it.
listening to that shit fucking every day back
I
then.
mean, look, he's changed people's lives with that show.
That show's
10 times
amazing.
over. I mean, it's
That
insane.
show's not what people think it is.
What I enjoyed about it is that you get so much variety that it can't be, that it's real. You know that it's real. It's not like it's not 100% scripted. It's not 100% chaos. It's like it's a really good controlled balance of these are new people, and then you've got some really good talent in there that can keep it alive if somebody's killing.
But
if it's
also
like not
just
good.
if you look at Tony Hinchcliffe, it just shows you that like discipline and showing up and putting it out. They've missed like 2 Mondays in 10 years. Like that.
But
and now they're
having a great time.
now
doing
they
it.
get like
have to,
300,000 people watching it live. You know how
Right.
fucking
Yeah, they
crazy
sold
that
out
is?
Madison Square Garden, numerous times over.
Yeah, and millions of views now. It's crazy.
What a testament to growing the comedy scene as well. Like that's, that's phenomenal, because that was not the size it was
Comedy.
today. It's always been around. Yeah, there's been like a comedy scene, but with how accessible it is, with these new ideas, the
Yeah.
way that it's packaged and released, I'm kind of new to it because of those innovations. So I'm learning all these different new and up and coming comics because of Kill Tony and how that's opened the door to other comedy circles like Austin, and
It's
that's
a whole
interesting to
thing
me.
now, but I think they're onto something with the whole comedy. Like comedy is really important for society, and like the importance of having like free speech and comedy. Not to take it there, but I think that
Oh, essential.
that whole scene, like not that scene in particular, but comedy in general, I think is really important. I think you kind of saw that recently, but
What, with the Tony Hinchcliffe comment and stuff that really was blowing
just
up in
with
the news
like
and-
views, you can look at like who are the biggest people getting more views than everybody. It's Joe Rogan, it's Theo Vaughn, it's comedy podcasters.
I know the idea of having someone like Donald Trump on Theo Vaughn's podcast is pretty hilarious.
Wild. Were you?
Like-
do you watch when he was talking about cocaine? With
Yeah, I
Donald
did see
Trump?
that.
I'm gonna watch that. I didn't see that one.
That shit is hilarious.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he's
Theo's a
asking him
god.
about
Theo, you're a god.
His delivery is phenomenal. He could be saying quite literally nothing, and it's still like
He's
I'm
a funny
smirking in my
guy.
mind. Yeah, he's good at what he does.
He's got his own little style of ranting.
Well, it's all about the personal brand, you know. All of them, all those Rogan guys, they all have that like perfect little niche brands.
But I mean, the consistency, you know, that term, my gosh, look at Rogan. Like he was doing that
Saint
for
Rogan.
a decade, doing it for a decade, and then got $100 million Spotify deal. And then all of a sudden, every comedian in the industry has a podcast. I'm not a comedian. None
he
of us are
won
comedians,
the
but-
world's trust. And I think that's an important thing to figure out.
And now one of his off podcasts gets, you know, 20 times the views of CNN
I've been watching him
primetime.
since the first Joe Rogan I ever saw was him, Duncan Trussell, and Graham Hancock. And let me tell you, the universe threw a wild card at me that day because my whole life changed after that. Like I went so deep into Joe, and then I went so deep into Graham Hancock and like ancient civilizations, and like read all of his books, and like
I was
there's some
watching his
there's some
Netflix show.
janky power in this Airbnb.
I see it. Yeah.
Can we talk about this Airbnb for a second?
Okay, I thought I just
God,
blinked for a second there.
the power's been flickering. We got a leaky sink.
Not just a leaky sink, a disconnected sink on the supply side where it just dumps water.
And
underneath.
then-
it doesn't even
No
make it to
oven
the
pan.
We
faucet.
can't even get the hot tub to turn on until tomorrow. Like, what the hell? Like,
That's an internal problem, though. We'll leave that for.
yeah, but I mean, look at this, dude.
It's
Honestly, if you rent an Airbnb, you shouldn't have to pay an additional fee prior to using the hot tub.
I agree. I think that's a nonsense.
When
thing
your
to
opening
add
your
on.
opening photo is a pool and a hot tub.
Yes, that is the value, and it should be included.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
I get it.
I
Like,
could see with the pool.
don't heat the pool, fine. But,
But the
dude, I
hot
lived
tub-
here. Like, you can heat the hot tub in 15
The
minutes.
hot tub
Like,
should be included.
Yeah, I'm with that, dude. Where were we? I felt like we were doing really good for a second there.
We
Talking
were.
about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Memo. Let's talk about
let's
you.
get
dude.
off
Yeah,
Rogan.
let's get off
We're
this
done.
shit, dude. It's so easy to go into politics. Back into art, dude. Let's go. Memo, what was the craziest thing you saw today? Or at least most unexpected. Like, what was just something that you were like, damn, I didn't really think
Memo,
about
what
that.
are your thoughts on Los Angeles Mexican food?
Well, I mean,
You didn't like it, huh?
I know I did like.
He
it.
was
I-
kind
I-
of talking shit
okay,
about
no,
it
no,
while
no,
he was
no,
eating
no.
a little frozen
Okay, no,
pizza.
I did enjoy my
was
torta,
okay.
but if it's like, it's hard
I
to
was hyping
impress
it up
me
so
when I have that
hard.
food all the time.
I know.
Like, I cannot tell you how many places I've tried. Naturally, you know. I did like it. The salsa was bomb. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Also, we
those
need to
gringo tacos are bomb. I don't know.
Also,
it's just a taco.
our listeners, call in if you think Memo here. He's saying that when he's on the phone with clients, they keep giving him that he's got a woman's voice, and they'll say, "Excuse me, ma'am."
I just never correct them.
You know,
That's
this-
why- I think
This
that's why they treat
board,
me
this
nice.
board, actually, if we were live, people could call into it.
Yeah.
We'd have to have is there like an input channel for
Yeah.
just call for live?
Yeah, you
whatever?
can set it up for live.
That would be great.
But I think people are
know.
fucking with you because that doesn't check out on my end. I'm not
Well,
hearing.
I don't think
Well,
you sound like
because
a girl.
you've seen me. If we were talking on the phone and you never met me or see me like face to face, you would think.
You got to understand that people in Washington, Seattle, Washington, and that whole area, they're all fucking dumb as hell.
Checks out.
Just the whole
have
area.
comments
You got to
on that.
understand that area. Let me tell you.
No comments on that.
I'm
one.
just kidding. Seattle, I love you. Let's go Sounders.
Love you from a distance.
Oh
Well,
boy.
The best thing about Seattle is that you can drive 1 hour and be fucking in 13 feet of snow, snowboarding your ass off.
on the mountains. Going back to your question, like I think the craziest thing I saw today was a mirror that was worth $10,000.
That mirror was sick. I will agree with you.
I
Give us
didn't
some
realize-
background on
It
this.
was, he took us to what was it?
HD Buttercup.
HD Buttercup. I, just walk in there and I wasn't even checking prices, and he says, "Oh, look at this mirror," and he just pointed at the price. I'm like, "Damn, it's discounted too."
Was that the infinity crystal lined one?
I think
it was,
so. Something like
It
that.
looked
nice.
good. It looked great.
If you,
I
if
did
you've
look
never
like
been there,
I
that
did
place
look.
is-
My reflection looked like a 10.
Price checks out.
Yep.
You can't put a price on that.
Other than that, also
The way you
like,
feel.
Guys, I'm
I
gonna
never
grab
expected
one more
going to a
brewski.
photograph
Anybody need a brewski?
Studio.
Yeah,
The
grab me
studio
one.
is clean. Right?
Yes,
also,
please.
let me tell you this. I didn't
Thank you.
expect. I mean, I know what was it, Sean? His name was Sean.
Oh yeah.
When he did the initial, this is what it is. Events for Emmys, Grammys, and all that kind of stuff. Like it didn't really click in my head like where I was still. And then keep walking, seeing all this. Then I guess the biggest one where they have like the
Client lounge.
Yeah, client lounge and everything. And then he goes like, Rihanna, was
Thank you,
here
sir.
50 days ago or something like that. I'm like, whoa. This. I mean, not that what you said before didn't register in my brain. It was just delayed, and me like, it clicked. Like
That place is seriously so fucking cool though.
That felt really special.
It was.
And
Sean is such a fucking cool guy. Him, like, he didn't have to give us that whole thing, but I was really glad he did because it's so in depth. Like when you see him put it on, it's like it's worth it because it's like a whole experience. Like I can't remember who he said the whole front entrance was designed by or like designed after, but
something Barcelona.
Barcelona,
yeah,
something?
some
Yeah,
famous person.
it was
Barcelona. Like
I can't remember.
Van Gogh.
Bud Light.
It said Van Gogh.
I'm not.
I don't. Was it Van Gogh? I don't
It's
think so.
Van Gogh in Barcelona.
Because Vincent Van Gogh was like broke as fuck.
Yeah, right.
He never
Yeah,
had
yeah.
money. I don't.
It
think
was
that's
something
it.
Barcelona.
It's some other. I
Like,
think it's a
he-
famous designer.
Like I
or
was
something.
so kind of shocked of the whole thing that he when he started talking.
Guys,
he
if I
just
ever
went
get
fast in his
organized,
brain.
we'll put it in right here.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I like it. You're thinking ahead. I love it. This will edit it anyways.
Yeah.
We'll go through and watch. Good call.
Milk
Cool.
Studios, Los Angeles, California. Look them up.
It was fantastic. That was wonderful. I love the aesthetic.
I liked when they were like, "Yeah, we don't do private birthday parties."
Oh yeah, I have no private events.
They're like, "This is an industry thing. This is not private party."
Hey man, as someone that didn't know anything about it, that drove it home. I was like, oh okay.
Their parties are the
You guys
coolest
are the
parties.
big,
I
you're the
love
big
them.
dogs here. Okay.
I'll tell you, if Kim Kardashian wanted to have her birthday there, they'd be having a fucking birthday there, though.
Yeah, I'm sure if the budget's right, the budget's right.
True. Yeah.
But Kim Kardashian doesn't. I don't know. We've been to those houses in Bel Air. She doesn't need to.
Oh, I was saying it jokingly, but
Remember that house with Gwen Singer?
yeah, that was
$64 million. God damn.
Is it the one with
Just a
the
cool
car?
64. Huh?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
pictures.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
I wonder about some of those properties though, because a lot of that is just basically store of value. There's trillions and trillions of dollars floating around in the world, and that's why you talk about there's many different scales of investment properties, but people basically just need to park their money somewhere so that it won't inflate away. A
Yeah.
couple of years ago, inflation was coming in at 9.2%, and that's the official number. I mean, it's probably more like 22%, 25%. And so if you think like every year, 10% of your money is inflating away, and okay, invest in real estate, it's a good investment.
Well, isn't there like a whole thing with like that's how overseas people like wash their money is they just buy American land and American properties and then they like can hide their money that way too.
Yeah, I'm sure people are doing that,
I'm-
but like I was just kind
I
of
don't
gonna
know what I'm talking about, but
gonna talk on stuff of like you brought that house up. It just got me thinking about like new stuff of like that mansion tax that they passed in Los Angeles.
you remember that
and we talk-
NFT garage?
NFT. Oh yeah.
Did you buy something
No, this garage had like it was an NFT gallery in the garage.
in the garage
Yeah,
of
yeah.
of a mansion?
No, so it was a
Or
mansion.
just
They had
you?
a standalone garage, but then it had like a $500,000 car in it and shit. And then there was panels on the wall, and it was like NFTs, but it's just like images on a wall. you
Yeah,
know?
like pixel art essentially.
Yeah.
That you get off of like old Windows.
Basically, the developers are just getting more gimmicky to try to be like, I've got an NFT garage in my $65 million house. This is another little
It
selling
was like
point.
it was definitely a gimmick.
I mean, it's a beautiful home. It's
That
just some
house
of
was
those like
insane. Hey, flash of the house right now.
some of those houses
Boom,
at that
boom.
scale.
Like
It's
it.
just like, can we use something besides like black marble?
If you're gonna put something in one of those houses, what you should look into, to go back to the store we were in. I sat inside of like a space pod shuttle today
Yes.
That I forgot about that. That was cool.
with a chandelier.
Here it is.
Here it is. Pictures here. Unreal. I don't care what it costs. Pretty much worth it.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that. I should show Chris.
But basically, here's my point I was trying to make is that,
Yeah.
so here's the numbers. There's about, a little over 400 trillion in real estate in the US. And so as cities and things implement things like they did in Los Angeles, the mansion tax, which is now going to go to just funding different homelessness programs, mild form of socialism, you could argue. This is going to be traditional investors this could be a theory that would be scaring away foreign investors and people who are using real estate as a store of value, and then they'll want to transfer into something like, say, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a little under 2 trillion. And we've got 400 trillion sitting in.
I got lost. I'm not gonna lie.
My point
Pull up a
is,
picture though.
my point is, Max, stay with me. You brought up the Gwen house of 65 million. As those 65 million, look in Bel Air on Zillow. There's
play that
hundreds of
somehow.
them that have been sitting on the market for 200, 300 days.
Just play it.
In
Look at,
summary, people are just trying to park their
you
money
don't-
somewhere.
I don't think you
Save
need
it.
audio, but look at that thing.
Hey, viewers.
Yeah, I'll throw it in.
So where was
put a
this?
clip
This is
of this.
actually kind of insane.
That's in the furniture store over
H-
there.
Yeah.
HP
yeah.
Buttercup.
That was for sale.
Buttercup.
How much? What was the price
Ask.
tag on this?
It was price on discuss like
On request.
This got to be
request.
like $200,000.
I was
This thing
guessing-
is insane.
my guess. I threw it out there. I was like 70,000. If it was 70,000, to me it'd be worth it.
Did
You
ever
give me
check-
70,000, I'll build you
I'd
one
say
of
at
those.
least 70.
You know what?
I'm not
That's
even kidding.
I'm curious.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm
Give me a
curious.
welder. Give me a buffer.
They'll build you a spaceship. That looks more legit than the actual thing we went to the moon for the first time on. That thing
and
was
it's
looked
probably
like it was
cost
built
the
out of
same.
tinfoil. I mean, come on.
Yeah, today was pretty epic, even though it was kind of hellish at first, but we made it work.
Day one, you made it here. That was what counts. You got
Hey,
you got what you
man,
need.
we got good
Memo, I
tacos,
got this sick
tortas.
photo of you at Max Studios. Just put it in work.
Oh, that's
I'll
nice.
put it in right there. I'm just trying to add as much extra work as I can to this video.
That's a good day. Like after the whole incident with the
Dead
car.
silence.
I mean, after the incident
Also,
with the car,
we saw-
it was food.
And then
It was like the furniture store. Then what?
we saw that self-driving car. I've never seen one of those
never.
The
before.
Waymos.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
never
it was a
seen it.
Jaguar with
I-
all the rotating cameras.
Those have all the, I don't know if it's like LiDAR detectors or some shit. They have all the
don't
different
know.
sensors.
Just giving us cancer. Or
The
what?
Teslas just have, 8 different cameras and they just
I just
full
know,
self-drive with
when I
that.
saw an issue, I thought it was one of those like GPS, Google things that drive around.
where it's
with
mapping
maps.
and taking pictures of
It was
everything.
until somebody pointed out it's self-driving. It's like, what the heck? I mean, I've heard of them before. But
I
just
took a
I've never
video of
seen
it.
them. I just never seen them personally.
Well, also, did you guys see the little robots that are doing food delivery?
No.
Yes,
Those are
yeah, I
all
did.
over the
Did you?
place.
I
I
didn't.
Uh-huh.
I've seen nightmares of them here. Even when I lived here, I just like the homeless people just kicking them over,
Yeah,
pulling
just
them open.
destroying them, getting food out of them. I saw one get
I
hit
don't
by a
think that's
train.
the way to go. For some reason, that just seems like the expenses over time will just be too much. People are gonna destroy those things.
Well, I think eventually, as technology
How's Bird
advances, it's
doing
gonna be
around
cheaper
here?
to
Is
produce.
Bird still ripping
At least I
around?
think that's the goal.
Yeah, birds are still ripping. I mean, think about this. Uber's never been profitable.
What do you mean?
The company Uber is literally not profitable right now.
Then how don't they make a lot of money?
Basically, as that shift happens, as everything's able to go full autonomous self-driving,
Oh.
they should be profitable.
Yeah, they're early on the game for technology, for information.
been around
data.
for
Oh,
a
is that
while.
because they're spending billions of dollars on something, or what?
It's like a similar reason why Tesla as a car company sells their cars at a very, very low price, because they're not a car company, they're a data company. They're collecting data, and that's where they get value. It's not from the mechanics, from the cars. If they were a car company, they'd focus on making profitable cars,
Well,
but they
also
don't.
they're full self-driving technology, and as they are able to outsource that and things. But look at Rivian. Rivian, those cars are incredible, but they're actually selling those things at a loss.
Mm-hmm. Well, like for instance, I go back to data, information, technology, because it's marketing. That's where the money comes from, is commerce. So Google, for instance, bought in the early days. They bought Nest. Remember all the round Nests, and they promoted that heavily.
Oh yeah, I do.
And then they were giving them away for free. I mean, they spent billions of dollars. They knew they would never make back from that. But with the information they gathered from those is people inside of their home, and how they used their thermostat and how they moved through their house. And all of that data, they can market now more effectively to
Yo,
those
how about the
people.
fact that they can turn Wi-Fi routers into AI
Yeah,
like scanners,
that's-
and they can literally tell whatever's in any room just through Wi-Fi?
Yeah, NFC NFC. So like vending machines. You can have a vending machine sitting in a public space, and as you're walking by, it's scanning information off of your personal devices and then marketing to you real time. That's been around for like 15 years.
That's
I was thinking about an app in my neighborhood. We got a bunch of coyotes running around there.
Did I say NFT? I meant near field communication. NFC, near field communication.
I didn't mean to totally just pivot on you there. Sorry.
Keep going. No, keep going. You're good.
But we're talking about Nest cameras and the usage of data and all this stuff. And so we always have people in my neighborhood will be like, oh, did you see the coyote up there? Oh, you know, on that dead end, there's a coyote up there. Maybe you don't want to walk your dog up there. So I'm thinking you grab all the data from the cameras, and when the pack of coyotes walks by, it ding, rings your phone. You're on a little walk with your dog, and you got your little 6-pound chihuahua. That lady's going to pay for the coyote app. Like, little heads up.
Geospatial data. XYO is the company.
You know
that's
what? My
doing that
friend who
one.
does drones in Wisconsin, where he makes most of his money. Guess how he does it?
Deer hunting, scouting.
Close, but no.
Just let us know.
He uses infrared to find lost dogs.
Damn, there you go.
He's like, this is my biggest selling thing. I was like, actually, that makes sense, dude. That's a good market.
I
Probably.
mean, look at the company Chewy. I mean, my gosh, like there's been like people want to spend money on
He's
their
like,
dogs.
dude, people lose their dogs, and then they're like, can you scan this area?
They don't chip them.
I don't think a lot of people chip their dogs, but maybe they
I mean,
do.
I don't chip my kids, so I guess
It's basically like
sense,
the Citizen app of dogs. You know, you guys seen that Citizen app? All the different things happening in the neighborhood. If you're a little
I know what you're talking about. I've never used it though.
here in LA, we'll use it once in a while. Just like, oh, what's popping off around the neighborhood? You open it up. Holy shit! There's like, we'll just shut that for now.
It's like better not to know.
Now
not to think about
I'm
it.
gonna, and after tonight.
You're like, do
tomorrow
I
morning,
want to
maybe.
know that someone got stabbed and killed like 2 blocks from here?
I mean, I'm not even kidding. It's insane.
What is
Like,
it? Red Door, the website that used to do that for like it was like child molesters and like people,
Well, Citizen does
sex
stuff
offenders
like
and
that,
stuff.
Yeah.
So you can
Citizen.
see what houses they're registered to in an area when you're looking at real estate and other stuff.
I
That's
guess,
a very
yeah.
good it's a very good tool. that
Because
I've used
I know
before.
on Citizen, I think you have to pay for the membership or whatever to get all the features.
Like, do you want to see how in danger you are right now? Give us money. Ransom for security. It's fun. I choose not to live in fear.
This is the problem, reaction, solution mentality.
Did you guys hear a train?
I thought so. That's why I went like this.
I don't remember.
It
there
could be
being-
engine braking.
I don't remember there being a train around here.
That could be a semi on the highway engine
I think
braking
that
where
was
it
just in your
sounds.
head. I think that's some good weed.
I was thinking about all of
Oh,
them. I was thinking about how people are coming at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, fuck, I need a producer. So many emails that like didn't quite get touched today.
Are people? Did you? I mean, you
Everything's good for tomorrow.
you set it up, so there's nobody.
For tomorrow, but there's still, a lot of people that like still need to be just
Humble beginnings.
You have
Just
to
think
walk,
of that. Humble
You have
beginnings.
to walk these people to the door, dude. They're like,
I think you're gonna be all right, Max.
even
You're-
today,
you're
today
at the location.
I reached out to this model agent like 4 weeks ago. I told her the whole scoop, literally the whole scoop, timing, everything. Then we talk again like 2 weeks ago. We talked like a week ago because we're dealing with like a few girls, right? And one girl is a good friend of mine which is why I reached out to her to begin with. And then literally I get off the plane today and she texts me and she's like, what time do you want to do it? And it's like, why can't you just read the emails that I sent to you 2 weeks ago?
Dude, this is what I
Like,
was talking about earlier. There's so many external factors that it is unfortunate, but it's just a part of the business. You
Yeah,
know?
it
There's
really
just
is.
shit that it's always going to
Imagine
be
reading.
something.
But this is what it's
Imagine
about.
reading.
It's like if you don't do this, then no one will do this for me. So it's like unless I just grind it, it doesn't get done.
You're subtly dropping the executive producer.
I'm
need.
really good at like doing like just the bare minimum of what I have to do. Have to do.
Well, I heard someone talking about that in a really smart way recently, and I loved it. It's just like, do what you need to do when you need to do it, and then just go. It might have actually been Rick Rubin.
That's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that world too.
But I like that vibe of like, oh yeah, if it just needs to be done right now, and it's almost going to be more of a mental block just not to do it, why not just quit
I know,
do it?
I had-
and
It's
then
a
we'll
good
move
practice. Especially if it takes just like a few minutes, just get it done right now, and then you free up
on.
all
I'm a
of that
notorious
headspace.
procrastinator. It fucks with you mentally more than it's like it would have been much easier just to do it.
Because they'll pile up,
Yeah,
Then you've got
and then-
3 things you're procrastinating on, and it feels heavy.
Yeah, totally. Well, the other day, even for this trip, there was like 3 agencies I had to like just get with them before I flew out. And then it's like a whole half a day comes by and I'm just thinking about it the whole time. And then I finally sit down and do it. And I'm thinking in my mind, this is going to take like an hour, get all this shit done. 20 minutes later, I'm done. I'm like, why should I just did this earlier?
You're learning in that. And in our conversations, we've had these moments, and you've seen kind of how my brain works.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's do it now. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to think about it.
Well, the problem
I
is
have
when you
to do
have
that.
literally 30 things to get done now.
I know later there's going to be more. That's why. I don't even know what they are yet.
just know how
but I know
these-
there's more coming.
It's like when you kind of understand the flow of the industry. So I know like how model agents are. So I always kind of understand that it's like they all wait till like the day before to get the call sheet type of deal, you know?
Yeah, I think the last job I was on, you're getting the call sheet at 9 p.m. This is like supposed to be the leading people too. And
Well, it's
or even
hard.
big, ad jobs, you're getting the call sheet 9 p.m.
That's because those producers are working their fucking asses off, dude.
So
It's also
we need the
just-
budget.
And then nobody's making
subscribe
decisions
to
till
the
like the
Patreon
night
so
before.
that
So
Max
they're
can
like,
get a producer.
Yeah, please subscribe to the Patreon.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to put these out like at least 3-4 times a month.
Well, we can't be selling people on the first fucking episode.
No,
you
this
guys.
is jokes. This
This
all
is
jokes.
we got to pull a Rivian where you're.
I'm just
selling-
kidding. No,
you're
I
selling cars at
do have a
loss.
Patreon page which you can subscribe to right now. Angles by M, Visual Dirt. You can
There it
pick a
is.
few. There's a few of them, but I mean, the whole point of coming out to California and like shooting 50 people is to kind of find a new direction, and then I like the idea of like being open to the universe and just seeing kind of what we create before like really like being like this is what it has to be, you know? Like I like casual. There's a world where I really like super hardcore informational podcasts. There's a world where I like just dumb shit like I'm bored, none of my friends are around. I want to feel like I'm hanging out with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want all
both.
of that mixed kind of into one. Like I want to do really serious podcasts too, where I don't have like a Bud Light and a vape in my hand. But you know what I mean?
Well, it all comes out. That's the fun of the conversation with multiple people.
Yeah.
We're all gonna have different.
Yeah.
Our minds are gonna go other places, and we're gonna bring up amazing points, and we get to kind of riff off of it.
pants are doing. I don't know what kind of angle it's got on me, but
Yeah, whatever the momentum is, just run with it. If you need the silly bullshit, run with it. If you
well, I
want to
think
just
it's being true to you. Just be true to who you are. Like I think that's how you win with the content game.
But
Like,
Preach.
that's just how our brains are.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, yeah. Like I mean, you're kind of describing like where you see this going in the future, but just it is.
I'm taking you to Jamaica.
a greater idea of like our brains need that variety.
Miami next, and then Jamaica.
Miami's next, yeah,
Probably.
definitely.
I think
I've been to
we're doing it.
Jamaica twice.
I
Really?
love Jamaica.
I never been.
I love
Yeah,
Jamaica.
it's incredible.
It is incredible.
Tell me what's
Did we go
incredible
together?
about it.
No, we didn't go
Tell
together.
me.
Did we go together?
Well, I didn't do the just go sit on a little like resort and not leave the space. My grandparents, were really heavily involved in the church and donated money to a company called Food for the Poor.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually, some of their money went to buy these like fishing boats for a village outside of Kingston, Jamaica.
And you went and took them back.
And so we went and like delivered these boats to this
He's
little.
like, yo, you guys owe me money. No, man.
I got a little stoner. Sorry, I'm a little fried right now.
Oh man.
No, that
Okay.
was great, dude. Keep
But keep
going.
telling me. I want to know.
No, but it was fun. I had to do this 8th grade project, and I went with like a little video camera like that. It was literally about that size, just filming everything, and everything from like the big Rasta dude with a bag of weed, like I'm talking like 20-pound, 20-gallon garbage bag of weed. As an 8th grader,
Just
that's like,
all shake. I'm just kidding. It's probably good stuff.
might as well have been, yeah. But
I have some fun Jamaica stories. I'll tell you next.
it was pretty cool. Yeah, this was like early Witta days, 8th grade, learning how to kickflip, doing my little camera, making my school project about it. But it was cool because
Magical.
we got to see the grit of Kingston,
Really?
That was the highest murder rate, in the world at one point, not even that long ago. Like Kingston, Jamaica is wild. I brought my skateboard with me. I'm just like skating around the city. This dude had actually stole my board outside the hotel.
Really?
And was trying to, talk to the hotel concierge, be like, get this kid's parents, get him down here, get him. They was trying to like get $100 out of me for my skateboard.
That's crazy. I got my phone stolen at the Rio de Janeiro skate park.
Damn.
I don't know why I was such a fucking dumbass, but I took my phone out of my pocket and like tucked it into my sweater and then took my sweater off and then
Classic.
yeah, I was
Life
just too
lessons,
excited
man.
to skate.
You know what? You know what that just happened to me? I got my phone stolen for the first time ever at the Joint
I know that's
in
a
Eau Claire,
bummer.
Wisconsin. And the amazing thing is, the guy who stole it, I'm pretty sure I know who it is. He's like a homeless guy. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, this is a inconvenience for the moment.
Also, what are you gonna do with it?
He tried to sell it to one of those EcoPhone ATMs, and I tracked it like a day or two later into the ATM. I called the number on the side of the thing, and they're like, if it is the right IMEI number, we'll track it and we'll send it back to you. A month later, I got it back.
Damn,
That never
God.
happens. That never happens.
that's wild. Anyways, you want to hear my Jamaica story?
Yeah.
So, can I tell you it?
I'm sorry.
I mean, I think that's crazy, but
No, that was you're.
I
It,
did
it wasn't
say-
that crazy. I just felt happy about it and I wanted to share that with
I
you
think
guys.
that's amazing. But I also think that stealing people's iPhones is pretty whack.
Well, that's the perfect example that in a phone is the dumbest thing to steal in this day and age.
At least that guy got paid and you got
He
your
didn't
phone
get
back.
paid. You can't because the ATM confiscated it because it was reported stolen.
Oh,
So he made no money on it.
Even better then.
But also these people that just go into an Apple store and just, rip everything off the shelves. It's like all that. You're not going to be able to use any of that shit, man.
I know it's crazy.
You're costing the company money. That's it.
Well,
It's
they sell it
insurance.
to someone who's dumb enough not to turn it on before they walk away.
Yeah, sell it for
and
cheap,
then-
quick.
Anyways, yeah, Jamaica. I love Jamaica. Should we keep going on Jamaica?
Yeah,
or should
yeah. I want to
move
know.
on?
I want to know your stories though. Like, where did you?
Jamaica.
You guys
Well,
were
so
living out
I was
there?
living in London actually when we went to Jamaica, and Mariano was shooting Marks and Spencer, so we went to the Golden Eye Resort, which is where Ian Fleming wrote all of the James Bond films. And so we stayed in Ian Fleming's suite, which was like a really like I don't think they let it rent out all the time, but I could be wrong because it's like this huge resort. But then the main where Ian Fleming like wrote all of the original James Bonds, it was like his private estate, and then they turned that into a resort. And so we got to stay at
That's
this
pretty
like
special.
we got to stay at like the Golden Eye, like just it was so cool. And then we were shooting Marks and Spencers with like David Gandy and shit. So it was like men's swimwear in Jamaica. It was like super.
I love how our
super,
stories
super
couldn't be more
chill.
contrasting. Like, I'm like, yeah, food for the poor, donating to this tiny little small village outside of Kingston. You're staying in the Golden Eye.
Man, I'll tell you
Suite.
a fun story because obviously we were in Jamaica and I love to smoke the ganja, and so we're going to dinner one night and it's like pitch dark out, and like as me and my friend, I think it was Miguel, I can't remember, or no, it was Rob, my friend Rob, because Mariano had like a US based crew and a UK based crew, so depending on where we were in the world we would hire certain people. And so because we flew from London, we took the tech from London, and so Rob came with me, which was really fun because me and Rob never got to kind of go this way together. And so we flew in, we're walking to dinner one night, and like I'm seeing lights. I'm seeing people snorkel at night with like flashlights. I'm like, fuck, that's so cool. Like I'd love to do that. Then we go have this like fancy dinner at Jamaica, night outside, breeze, amazing shit. And then Larry, I can't remember Larry's last name. I think it's Larry King or not Larry King. Right?
Who's that one guy, Larry King?
I think it is
It's like
Larry
one of those
King
Larry
hair
Davids
some
or
shit
Larry
like that.
King, you know.
What is Larry's fucking name? It was David Gandy's like personal hairstylist, Larry something. I think it's Larry King hair or something like that.
Memorable. Yeah.
But he was like, "Yo, I went. Oh wait, maybe it wasn't Larry King. It was I can't remember. Maybe it was Ward. I can't remember. Somebody came to me and was like, "Yeah, I went night snorkeling. They'll take you out there on a boat and then give you a flashlight. You can snorkel." And I was like, "Fuck, we gotta do that." And so we were like, "Fuck it, let's go tonight." We get done with dinner. We smoke this fucking cannon, right? And then get on this boat. And I'm thinking, like, I'm not good with the ocean. Like, the ocean, I like the ocean. I like clear water too. Clear, warm Jamaica water, amazing. at night in the ocean. I don't care where I am. I'm just kind of scared.
That's so scary. That's like, initially what I thought when you said that. That sounds
Yeah, so
terrifying.
we jump in this boat, and I didn't
Huge
realize
open
this.
water.
They take you like 2.5 miles out to sea,
Yeah, that's too far.
and then they drop. So
I'm thinking like 50 feet offshore.
no,
Nice
I
little
do. We were
reef.
smoking this cannon, and like, so I'm high as fuck. We got fins on, and like I have a GoPro and a flashlight, and we're like. I'm like getting scared driving out. I'm like, wait, why are we going out so far? And they're like, yeah, we go like 1.5 miles out. And I was like, what? But you know, don't be scared. Gotta do this. So then they just take us out. We jump out with like a flashlight. I had a flashlight, a GoPro was super high. As we were driving out there, like, oh, if you see a shark, go towards the reef, like get away from the, because you go in these like reef canals, and like the current takes you all the way back in. But then once
It's a quick 2-mile swim. Just
This
take
does
the
not
current
sound
and go.
safe.
Dude, the
at
first time-
all,
the
and
first time-
I would do it too.
I
though.
would
That
be
sounds kinda
stressed the
fun.
whole time.
I was really scared at first, but then
Just
it
like,
turned
don't
out
be
to
as
be
scared. Don't
it turned out to be one of those things where like the fear, getting over that fear, became something so magical that like I still love that night to this day. I like think about like how special that night was. You know,
You
what I mean?
survived.
I survived, but also like it was just really special to get to do that. I felt like we saw like bioluminescent squid. We saw like all kinds of shit. Like you could see like 30 feet deep. Like it was insane.
I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad you you know, you weren't like, yeah, this dude had his arm bit off.
No,
and then we had
no.
to all go back quickly.
It was pretty chill. We didn't see anything that like made me feel threatening, but I was still scared the whole time. And I was like, if I die, I'm going to at least GoPro it.
Yeah, I mean, the saying of do something every day that scares you, you know, is a saying for a reason.
Totally.
That is epic.
Yeah.
That is epic. And after like a, you know, a fantastic day, exciting day, fancy dinner.
Sorry, this thing fucking so sensitive. Guys, we just did an hour.
Damn.
Wow.
That was a
buzz
quick
is
hour.
still quick.
Wow.
Isn't that
It
good?
got a little scattered at times.
We pulled her back
For the
around.
first one, I think it was pretty good.
think
Well,
it was solid.
3 hours would turn into probably realistically an hour unless you have very
You got to kind of have a plan.
good topics to.
But
jump
we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
We're just
This
jumping
is-
around. We're just
having
we're just
fun.
talking to talk for fun.
I think that's kind of the way to
negates
do
luck. We're
podcasts,
just gonna
though.
keep ripping her.
Just let it rip, you know, let it kind of fly and whatever comes of it.
How do you guys feel? You guys want to cut it?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
I feel like 1 hour is a good start.
Yeah. Let's
we're
try it.
at 57 minutes right now.
Let's
You guys
try
got
it.
any plugs? You got to plug it? You guys want to plug anything for the people out there?
Hit me on Insta with a photo.
I got nothing.
Hi, mom. Hi, mom.
Oh, sure. I got something to plug in. Here, get this book, Angles.
Yeah, Angles by Am. Let's go. I do need to talk about my book while I'm in town.
You should. Here you go.
I haven't really done much about it.
Want to talk about it for the next like 3 minutes?
I'm going to talk about it for the next 14 days.
Check the book.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you did tune in, if we do put this out, who knows? I love you.
If
God
not,
bless.
it's be
Bear with
just,
us,
it'd be like,
Castro.
a bonus episode, for
No,
a specific tier in Patreon.
honestly, if you didn't like that, like get the fuck out of here. Anyways.
If you didn't like that, then you
second
don't.
that.
You didn't stand a chance. So.
Yeah, sorry, we gotta go.
I don't know.
I smoked a joint 30 minutes in.
I feel like they made it to this point.
Guys, this
you know.
is. I think what this is it probably like behind the paywall Patreon, like first night in the house.
Hide it far
You know?
beyond the paywall.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like.
It's
the
like one of
public
those
release,
Easter eggs and like the games.
Yeah.
You like accidentally stumble into it. Like what? Where did this come from? Why
This
is
is
this
like
here?
if you subscribe to the Patreon, this is like this is the quality content you get.
Oh my goodness.
You're really selling it. No, you're really selling it.
We're gonna get better, dude. I want to.
Humble beginnings, man. This is great. This is perfect.
Before we
we
know
can
it,
only
we'll
go
have
up.
Tony Hinchcliffe on this fucking thing. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, that's a wrap.
Wait, should I do a little thing really quick?
Rap.
Hail Mary, full of grace.
I love
All
it.
right,
I love
bye,
it so
guys.
much.